Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. It cannot go without being said, just the mere fact that you clicked onto this video and you hear the sound of my voice, you are the most beautiful and intelligent people on the face of the planet. So once again, thank you. Where do I start? I had this thought in my mind about how I wanted to address some of these topics I'm going to bring up, their relevance, how they're connected. Maybe they're not, but I like to focus a lot of times on stories that are relevant to my mission and my focus, which is families, community, and encouraging those who care about that as well. So I don't know if there's any relevance here with what I'm going to talk about in that regard, but another part of this that I want to discuss in this is the idea of the winners and losers and the things that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tell you guys the stories. You can decide who you think is the winner or the loser. I may or may not, but let's kick it right off. So I came across this story because I remembered it from 2023. And I'm going to read this article to you from CNN. And it reads as follows: Kansas City, Missouri. An 86-year-old Kansas City man has died just days after pleading guilty to a lesser charge in the 2023 shooting of Ralph Yarl, a Black honor student who rang the white man's doorbell by mistake, prosecutors announced Wednesday. Andrew Lester was charged with first-degree assault and armed criminal action in the shooting of the then 16-year-old who survived and is now a freshman at Texas A&M. Before his trial was scheduled to begin, Lester pleaded guilty Friday to a lesser charge of second-degree assault, which carries up to 7 years behind bars. He was scheduled to be sentenced on March 7th. I remember when that story came out in 2023, hearing about the mistaken doorbell situation and this guy shooting that then 16-year-old. I actually didn't recall that the teenager survived. I thought that it was a situation where the teenager actually had been murdered, but I'm glad to hear that he didn't die at that time and he's actually gone on to enjoy the rest of his life. But Mr. Andrew Lester, he checked out on us. 86 years old, Kansas City man, died just days after pleading guilty. Man, what a tale. Okay, so you decide who's the winner and who's the loser there. This next story I want to talk about, this one kind of, it bothers me as a father when I came across this information. And I was also, in a lot of ways, uplifted by the depiction I saw from this individual who, in a lot of ways, was hated by some and loved by some people. But let's just jump into it. LaVar Ball, he lost his foot. So LaVar Ball, foot amputated after health issues. So this is from TMZ. I'm going to read it. LaVar Ball, the father of basketball stars Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo Ball, had his foot amputated after suffering a serious medical issue, TMZ Sports has learned. We're told the Ball family patriarch underwent a recent procedure to have his right foot removed, but despite it all, he is in great spirits and doing well. And I'll stop right there and before I continue. That's what I enjoyed. Unfortunately for him, But for me, I enjoyed seeing him in this situation, and he still had a smile on his face. I thought that that was extremely, what's the best word? I thought that that was extremely courageous. And I think it shows a lot of character that he's able to smile in a photo. It looks like there might have been I don't know if it's a family member or a fan or something like that in the photo with him, but you can clearly see that his foot has been amputated. And it's just an incredible picture, image to see someone go through that and still have a smile on their face. So I'll read the rest of this, so just a little bit more of it. It says LaVar made a name for himself with his grandiose plans for his sons. He created the Big Baller brand, which developed signature shoes for all three hoopers. LaVar made countless headlines for his bold declaration about his kids, but has received praise following their success. Zoe and Melo are stars in the association, and Jello's music career has taken off. I don't even like the way that this is written. They're talking as if the guy died. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. He's alive. He still gets to see his sons in the space where he said that they would be in a successful position, which, you know, he manifested as a father, which I think is so dope. So whether you like him or not, just the mere fact of seeing somebody smile after getting their foot amputated, how could you hate on that? How could you? So once again, you decide if it's a loss or it's a win, who the losers are, who the winners are, you decide. All right, let's go to this next situation that many of you might have heard about. This is from AP News, and the headline is ASAP Rocky has been found not guilty in the shooting trial. Here's what we know about the case. So if you don't know, ASAP Rocky, hip hop star, married to Rihanna. Are they married? I don't know. I don't know if they're married actually, but they got a baby together. But anyway, so Los Angeles AP, so here it reads, a jury's acquittal of ASAP Rocky on Tuesday put to rest a case that has hung over the hip hop star for years and threatened to derail his life and career. Rocky was charged with 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm filed after a November 2021 incident in which a former friend said the rapper shot him in Hollywood, grazing his knuckles. Dang. Rocky has been free on bail since his 2022 arrest, but he faced immediate incarceration if he had been convicted. Rocky pleaded not guilty, rejected a plea deal that would have involved very little jail time, and opted not to testify during the case. He appeared nervous ahead of the verdict and leaped into the arms of Rihanna, his longtime partner, once it was clear the jury acquitted him. Boom. So ASAP Rocky has been acquitted of all counts. I actually saw a little bit of the celebration where once they said not guilty the first time, he immediately ran to Rihanna in the courtroom and asked him to calm down a little bit. And he came back with his lawyers and they listened to the rest of the verdict. They hugged it out. And that's the justice system in America. So whether you like them or not, you decide. Winner or loser in a situation like this, or who's the winner and the loser, because there's somebody on the other side of the courtroom, obviously. So last but not least, I guess this is the one I really want to talk about. Trump, this is by BBC News, Trump calls Zelensky a dictator as rift between two leaders deepens. President Trump has spent the day attacking Ukraine's president, Vladimir Zelensky, calling him a dictator and deepening the rift between the two leaders. His attacks came after Zelensky's reacting to U.S.-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia, from which Kyiv was excluded, said the U.S. president was living in a disinformation space governed by Moscow. Speaking at a Saudi-backed investment meeting in Florida, Trump said the only thing Zelensky, was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. And I'll just stop there. I'll just stop right there. The United States and Russia came to the table in Saudi Arabia. Zelensky was not there. Where was Zelensky? Word on the street is Zelensky was in Turkey. Was Zelensky actually beckoned to come to Saudi Arabia and talk? Do you know? Maybe, maybe not. But Zelensky right now is in a pickle. He's in between bases. Without the United States supporting Zelensky, he has no way to win this war against Russia. It's interesting because Zelensky has found himself time after time with an inability to understand how to negotiate during war. He's found himself time and time again with an inability to do what majority of the Ukrainian people want, which is to end this war. The idea that Zelensky is doing what's in the best interest of the Ukrainians is far-fetched. There has not been a political election in Ukraine where the people's voices can be heard in terms of if they want to keep Zelensky or if they want to move in a different direction with someone who may be able to end the war and bring peace to the country through other means. But Zelensky himself, the way he talks, makes it very difficult for leaders of other countries to get behind him and fully support him. You know, it was amazing that in Trump's first administration, the Trump administration had actually supplied Zelensky with Javelin missiles, so provided them arms. But when it came to financing, I think it was like a $400 million financing for Ukraine, Donald Trump put it on hold. And I remember at that time it had something to do with Joe Biden and his son, and there was some kind of fraudulent activity going on, you know, with the Bidens in Ukraine. So it was like a whole political chess move that was going on. But the amount of money that Zelensky has siphoned out of the U.S. taxpayers is amazing. And I personally think it's time to replace him and get somebody in there who actually understands how to negotiate and get out of this war. But anyway, whether you like him or not, you decide. Winner or loser this week. Was Zelensky a winner or loser this week? So look, I didn't come to hold you too much today. It's snowing, it's cold here in the Triangle area in North Carolina. But I had to come to you guys and share these topics, see what thoughts you had about it. And in the meantime, please like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section. And as always, until next time.